Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Rod Shop, where today I am answering your questions on camera. So stick around. Okay, to start with, I apologize. I know I have been absent from the YouTube world for about a month, and I do appreciate a couple of you subscribers who reached out just to make sure I was still vertical. Trust me, I'm fine. I did have that nasty crud flu thing for a couple of weeks, but I got really busy with a bunch of other things going on in the real world. One, it's the spring. So we're in full spawn mode here in Central Florida, and I like catching big fish. So I've been fishing. In fact, yesterday I boated a 7+. I'll throw a picture up here so that I can prove that, yeah, I actually do catch fish occasionally. The other things going on in the spring, I still own a construction company, and I don't actually physically do a lot of work out in the dirt anymore. But beginning of the year, business, taxes, that kind of stuff took up more time this spring than I had planned on. So between work and fishing, and I took on another project, and I'll put a link down below in the description to the Stratus. It's a 92 Stratus 201 Pro that we are completely rehabbing from stringers up. That is interesting to me. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of time. It's very, very time consuming. The other thing is this rod shop is busier than it has ever been. With Nathan's help, in 2 years, he has become a professional rod builder. His rods today are as good as mine were 10 years in. He's had some help from me, obviously, but he has the natural ability and talent to do really high quality work. So he's helping me with some of my production rods. But we have over 30 rods out by the middle of February, which put us on track to really kind of crank maybe 200 rods out this year, which is way more than I've ever done. 125 is probably the most I've done to this point. But anyway, I'm really busy and I'm healthy and I'm still vertical, and thank you guys for your concern. So what prompted this video is a time constraint. I get a lot of questions from you guys, and please keep them coming. Put them down in the comments. Send me an email, however you feel most comfortable asking a question. But a lot of these questions, it takes more than just answering it specifically. I'd have to write a book to get the kind of answer I want. So today is the first of the Q&A videos. If you enjoyed this particular format, say so in the comments and start throwing your questions at me. So let's start. I got a comment/question last week from American Mo or Americamo. I can't remember. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it was basically, what are your favorite epoxies? What's your favorite thread? Or, what's your favorite glue? So we're going to go through that. And I'm telling you what I like. I'm not telling you it's the best on the market. I'm telling you I like it. I always use it. There are a few things in here I'm going to talk about that I'm going to try, but I know I am a creature of habit. And when I find a product that I like, it's very hard to get me to change. Like, I'm that crusty old guy who wish Bennigan's was still around so I could get their Monte Cristo sandwich, because I don't want anybody else's. Anyway, that dated me quite a bit there with Bennigan's. But let's talk about glues and epoxies and threads and such. One of the questions this gentleman had was, what is my favorite thread? Now, I have two. My favorite thread for workability is ProWrap ColorFest. It is a nylon thread. Doesn't change color under clear epoxy. Just a hair shade darker on some of the lighter colors, but not bad. It's easy to work with. It cuts clean. It burnishes flat, looks like tape when you get it burnished properly. And I use D most of the time. I don't wrap much with size A thread. But with this ProWrap D, if you burnish it correctly, you get a flawless finish to your wrap. Anyway, my favorite usable thread is Pro Wrap. Now, my favorite for bling and accent, this is a love-hate relationship here. This is the Fuji Metallic, size D. It is absolutely stunning when you put it on a rod. Now, it is a pain in the butt to work with. It is a waxed nylon core with the metal flake on the outside of the wax core. And it is stiff, and it kinks, and it tries to twist, and it's hard to cut clean, and you have to hide tails, and it burnishes. It slides around too much when you're trying to burnish. But as far as absolute awesome looking finished product, this is it. Pain to work with, awesome look. All right, so that's thread. Number two, let's talk about glues. Now, you guys have seen me use several different glues. I do have some Pro Glue up there, but my daily go-to glue for gluing up handles and grips is going to be the U40 Quick Bond. I buy it from Voodoo Rods. It's the 10-minute set. Reality is you get about 15, closer to 18 in a 70-degree rod shop. If it was hotter, it probably cooked faster, but by far, this is my go-to. So the U40 Quick Bond 10-minute rod bond is what they call it. Now, when I'm doing smaller pieces or I'm putting the American Tackle G2 handles together, you're going to see me use the 5-minute Pro Glue. I do have some 5-minute epoxy from Flex Coat that I'm going to try, but this is my standard go-to. This is the 5-minute Pro Glue. You really only need a couple drops when you're gluing in an insert or you're gluing all the trim pieces together on that carbon fiber American Tackle handle set, the G2. It's 11 pieces. You can get it glued in. You can prep it and get it to where you really only have about 3 pieces you have to glue up as you build the handle on the blank. I use this because it's thin and it's easy to clean up, and you don't have to do a lot of taping and holding to get your small trim parts to stay in place until the glue sets. So that's the 5-minute stuff. When it comes to thread finish, now a thread color preserver, or if I want a quick finish on something, or if I'm doing an underwrap and I just want to keep the threads from moving around while I'm doing the second part of the underwrap, then I'm going to use CP Extra. Now, the only downside of this one part, well, there's 2 downsides. One, well ventilated, because it smells like fingernail polish remover, and it'll run you out of a small space. So you got to be in a well ventilated area. And 2, if you don't use it quickly, it does this, where it is now one solid mass in my bottle. I've got another bottle, but I just don't use enough of it fast enough to use up all of it. It's pretty inexpensive, but this dries fast. It's clear. You can put another coat on in 4 or 5 minutes. You can build it up. I've never built a complete rod, but I will use this a lot of times for first coat of threads if I'm in a hurry to get a rod out, try to save a day. So CP Extra is my color preserver and 1-part epoxy thread finish. I do have this Threadmaster 1-part finish. It was given to me. This is like the fruitcake. I think this bottle has been in the possession of about 15 people now. Bob gave this to me. He's a rod builder over on the East Coast and a guide client. He sent it to me and he's like, I can't give this away. Try it, see what you think. The consensus is it's not great, but I'm going to do a wrap on one of my my sacrificial blanks there and give it a shot. I'll give you a review on this in the future. And then when it comes to your 2-part thread finish, you will always see me use D2 Diamond 2 finish. Now, that's not to say that this is better than everybody else's finish. If you have one that you like, stick with it. because they all react differently with temperature and thickness and drying times. And what's more important than using a specific epoxy finish is that you know the characteristics of your specific epoxy finish. Now, I like this. This is a what would be called a medium build, in my opinion. I don't like high build epoxies. My epoxy work is dead flat, thin. And that's a trademark I have, is my epoxy work. It handles pigments very well. It's easy to use. I like it. I don't use anything else other than D2. I think that answers all of the questions that American Mo had. I'm going to continue to do these kind of videos if you like it. If you don't like it, I won't do any more of them, but it's an easier way for me to communicate and get your questions answered. So like I said, if you like it, put a comment down below, start hammering me with your questions. I'll get them up on video. It actually makes it easier for me to make a video when I'm trying to answer something specific for you. You guys know I've been making videos for over 2 years now. I'm kind of running out of content, except that I do have a backlog of videos that I want to make, and I will start adding your questions to this backlog. But I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what we're going to do in the future. Number one, I've got this rod here ready for a desert camo marbling. That's coming up. I've never done it. I tried a couple over here for myself. I didn't like the way it came out. This is a client rod. He's a Desert Storm vet, and he wanted desert camo on his rod. So that's what he's going to get. I just got to get better, and I think I figured out how to do it with marbling mud and a brush. But we'll see. If we don't like it, we'll cover it up and do it again. But that's a video coming up very soon. Also, this is a video coming up very soon. This is my new pedal for my G2 power wrapper. It's not a pedal that came with it. It's not the replacement pedal they sent me for it. This is a much, much better pedal. And if you don't have this specific pedal on your power wrapper, you're going to thank me when you put it on. I'm going to do that one. I'm going to start doing, I have a college series of how to do college and athletic team colors. Unfortunately, I got LSU rod that I got to build. So go Tigers. Are those not the ugliest colors you've ever seen? These might be as ugly as my under wrap video. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm a Gator fan, so if it's not wild blueberry and tangerine, I don't like building it. But I'm going to build a college themed rod, and you guys will get to see how that goes. What else is coming up? I'm going to do the DIY static load tester build. I'm not going to build them and sell them, but I'm going to build it very simply with basic hand tools, because that one is falling apart, and I got to have a new one anyway, so I'm going to do it in such a way that you guys can build your own. And then I have a triggerless casting rod that this will be my second one I've built for the same client. I'll tell you why and how I build that when we get into that build. But anyway, that's it for this video. I know it ran a little long, guys, but I'm back. I'm fine. Appreciate the support. Put your questions down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. And we're out.